Okay, thanks for staying with us. The program is still this morning on ITV. It's now time for us to look at aviation, and we're talking about airport security. Sadly, I saw that clip, and I just say, hey guys, are we getting this thing correctly? Or we are just missing the mark? Or we are not listening? Or someone long lost the script? Okay, let's see our guest on the screen quickly. Let's look at that clip one fine. Mr. Godwin N. Ike, the number is on the screen. We put this as a prelude to the program so that you can get all the contact you need so that during the course of the program we won't be repeating this. Or go to you can call us on the number, you can email us, you check our blog, our YouTube page, our Twitter handle. Talking about those things, this appears to be the contact here. You know for sure there's a wonderful WhatsApp group here. Just send your number, you will be added, and you follow. And the WhatsApp group is strictly aviation matter. Don't talk politics here. Don't talk other things. They just talk about how we get to the airport, how we fly, how we land, and all about aviation. That's what we look at on this program and every other related group to this program. Mr. Godwin N.E.K. is in the studio with me. A very wonderful morning, sir.
Hi, good morning, Atta. How was your weekend?
We thank God the weekend was fine. I was thinking when we talked last, we saw what happened when that guy climbed that plane, and immediately I saw the guy climbing that plane through the engine. I'm asking a question: are we listening? Are we ready? Are we serious at all? Or are we just? It's something that don't just happen in any part of the world, and you see a guy just it looks like a child's play. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You don't see that anywhere. It looks like a child's play. And since then, the issue had died off the media. What is going on? We following the aviation correspondent. What's the detail? What's the update? Has the guy been arrested? Sorry, has the guy been brought to court? We following the prosecution through? Are we putting checks to ensure that those guys don't climb next time? And that bag the guy is holding, we thank God, is everything. Are you shocked seeing that guy?
Oh yes, very shocking, very disappointing, very depressing. And what's more, it belittles every one of us. As a matter of fact, when I watched that on TV, I was tempted to say to myself, am I really wasting my time talking to the world, and especially talking to Nigeria on issues of aviation? Is anyone listening? Is anyone doing anything, really? But then, a better part of me said, no, don't get emotional. It's work in progress. We can't relent. We must go on with what we're doing. We must push on, and someday, some individual or individuals will get the message and get serious and serve this nation in the best way that they can. It was such an extremely reckless, incident. On all sides. The young man that found his way to the wings of that airplane, the airport security, the airline.
And it was even the passengers who raised the alarm.
That's correct.
And the pilot saw it.
The airplane was apparently taxiing, getting ready for takeoff, and how that young man found his way right on top of the wing of the airplane is still a mystery to me, because wing of an airplane is not just out there for you to, to just, grab and jump on top. It's not that easy. And what's more, those jet engines are so powerful that even the little power required for taxiing can shoot you like a catapult, out of the way. So the young man must have received some training, and must have known that he dared not find himself, behind those nozzles, those exhaust, nozzles. And so he knew what he was doing, and then somebody must investigate this matter thoroughly and tell the world.
But if it is in some clients by now, some guys will be on suspension. They will be seriously on suspension. Heads will be rolling. Questions will be asked. The media will follow through. Absolutely. By now, it's not just a one-day headline thing, and the next day is off the headline here. Yes. Many men will follow through and follow it very closely until when we see somebody staying behind bars.
Absolutely, Atta. It's one of the banes of this country. We toy around so much with our laws, and we fail or sometimes refuse to rein people in and get them to pay a price for their lawlessness. And that's why we just have issues of lawlessness increasing exponentially, and no one is really batting an eyelid. It's painful, really painful, and no wonder a lot of Nigerians who can't stand this anymore are trooping out and in their droves.
But if we all troop out, who fixes the country? If we troop out, who fixes the country? That's the truth.
That is
if we stay here and fix it, most of these countries we see around the world had got their own dark days here, and through the dark tunnel, and right in the ashes here, they evolve a new person here, and today the world is rolling there. So if we run out to fix it, we go to that place, you're just a migrant here, and sorry for you, if Trump come after you, he's going to bring you back.
Oh yeah, and I often ask people to please read some history about great nations, especially the United States of America. Come on, take a look, go to the net, just simply say history of North America, and everything you want to know about that great nation will come out there, and you see they had their own days of hooliganism, and it was nasty, horribly nasty, nastier than what we are experiencing at the moment in this country. So we have a chance to do better.
Okay, let's click on here. Airport security. How well is Nigeria doing? Part 3. We've gone through part 1, part 2, and now we're looking at part 3. And that is what we are saying here. We would have talked about Air Peace, one of our own that is doing very well here, but it appears some things are not going too well recently. It's 1 or 2 incidents here, but we'll leave that for another day. And God in any case, we'll touch about that quietly here. Some are saying politics, some are saying play, some are saying maybe village people, but let's leave it about Air Peace for now. But thank God, FAN actually check and certify that these planes are airworthy. What are we looking at today?
Oh, part 3. I told you the airport security thing is such a huge topic. Okay. We just go on and on until we are satisfied that we have given out, fairly good enough information for those saddled with responsibilities to work with, and then keep our fingers crossed and hope that somebody will do something. Particularly, I'm worried about the fact that our airports do not have perimeter fencing, and people are just crisscrossing, animals crisscrossing, all sorts of things going on in our airports. It's unacceptable. I hope somebody's listening. I hope somebody will do something. And
even beside perimeter fencing here, what about heavy internal infiltration when it comes to the issue of the nearby bushes? Because sometimes you are landing, like in Abuja, the weather is green, and some of the areas appear to be, the grasses are growing very quickly, and you're just landing, and when you are descending, you find so many bushes. I don't think those bushes are manned. If somebody have an anti-aircraft launcher,
don't even mention that, because I don't put an idea into somebody's head. It's scary. Each time I think about it, it scares me. I willfully and deliberately refuse to talk about those kind of things on this program, because
let's go on today.
You don't want to set somebody somewhere thinking negatively.
You're correct.
Yeah,
you're correct.
Very well. Yeah. So we are dealing with airport security and how's Nigeria doing.
Okay, how different countries deal with airport security.
Yeah, today we're going to be looking at different nations of the world. We'll do that for 1 or 2 other episodes, and then put an end to that, and then move on with other issues concerning airport security. Well, the whole idea is to let us, Nigerians, know that countries of the world take cognizance of their special situations, special circumstances, and then devise ways of ensuring that their airports are secured. That's the whole message. You're going to see different countries and different ideas and the sort of thing that they are doing, and then it shouldn't be for us to copy, really. It's for us to begin to think, look at our special situation, our special circumstance, and think through, because the Japanese say, good thinking, good product. Now, when we think through, we'll be able to devise our own means of securing our airports and make sure that those kind of nonsensical things we saw, recently, of a young man climbing the wing of a plane, those kind of things never happen again. So let's go to clip 1 and then take it from there.
That's clip 1.
Yes. We're looking at how different countries.
Okay. As the USA first.
Yes. How different countries deal with airport security, starting with the United States of America. Between late 1960s and 1970s, airport security arrangements in the United States of America were minimal. Consequently, the country experienced several high-profile hijackings. In 1970, in spite of sky marshals being introduced, you know what sky marshals?
Yeah.
Those guys who dress as ordinary passengers, but they are heavily armed with very special weapons that can be used in the cabin, and then sit in the midst of passengers, behaving as if they were passengers themselves, and then until somebody tried to misbehave, then you find some thoroughly trained men and women take charge of the individual and put him down. And so that's, those are the sky marshals, okay? Right, so consequently, the country experienced several high-profile hijackings. In 1970, in spite of sky marshals being introduced, hijackings continued to take place due to inadequate numbers of the sky marshals to protect every flight in the USA. An alarming incident took place on November 10, 1972, when 3 hijackers threatened to fly Southern Airways Flight 49 into a nuclear reactor at Oak Ridge National Laboratory. They took charge of the plane and threatened to, to dive into that. That would have destroyed the United States of America so completely. But as God will have it, they were able to deal with that. But then we continue. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, responded by requiring all airlines to begin screening passengers and their carry-on baggage, okay? Initially, private security companies supervised by the FAA carried out the screening. The September 11, 2001 attacks generated tougher regulations, leading to limiting the number and types of items passengers could carry on board aircraft. You will notice that each time something really serious happens in the aviation sector in America, it becomes law for the world. So as soon as America takes a step...
No, but once you can hit that place, then nowhere is safe.
That's correct. It becomes law. That was when you couldn't take your perfume anymore, you couldn't take your bottle of water, you couldn't take your cream, body cream, and the rest of them. That was how it was September 11 that brought about all those. Now, we're saying the September 11, 2001 attacks generated tougher regulations leading to limiting the number and types of items passengers could carry on board aircraft. Today, all passenger and baggage screening is provided by Transportation Security Administration, known as TSA. They even have their compliant keys. A part of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. These days you look around, you find a whole lot of things, especially padlocks said to be TSA compliant. And the whole idea is, if you don't want your padlock to be destroyed and cut up, if you buy the TSA compliant padlock, they have their own special master key that they slip into that your padlock. They alone have access to your suitcase because they can nicely open that TSA compliant padlock, check your box for something suspicious, and if they find everything fine, they put a letter on top of your box to let you know that they reached into that box, but be sure nothing would have been missing, and nothing is missing, and and of course your padlock is intact, no destruction. That's why people are now going for the TSA compliant padlocks when you're traveling to the United States of America. Otherwise, if it's not compliant, they will simply use a cutter to cut the padlock. Take a look at your box. If everything is fine, just close it for you and ensure that you get it intact without losing any content of it. Yeah, but you don't want to lose your padlock because these things are... Clip 2, very quickly. This is, I get it, too expensive these days. We are continuing with how different countries deal with aircraft security.
Singapore.
Singapore. Excuse me.
Very sweet.
Oh yeah.
No, I know I'd be so nasty at Sentosa. At Sentosa, the guy, taxi driver had carried me, and I told him, "Hey guy, I really want him to go on top." And the guy went through some underground, and I was keep saying, "No, this is not where I'm going to." He said, "Just calm down, relax, relax." I kept this is not where I was going to, and he got to somewhere underground and just stopped and told me, "Okay, I should just take the staircase up." I said, "Why?" I was so angry with him. I had to pay him, and as I just went trek up, I just appeared at the center of the conference. These guys are something else.
Yes.
Something else in this
Oh,
world.
beautiful.
What's
sad is when you think about some of these countries that started national life
small country
with us.
Nothing, no agriculture, no oil. They depend only on services, and the whole world is coming there. Yeah. And the beauty is this high-rise building. Yeah. Trees on top.
That's correct.
Trees.
Very
nice
correct. So it challenges us. We must begin to think and behave better, and of course play our politics in more decent manner, and ensure that we keep this country together. We are awesome people.
Very true.
If only we can just galvanize ourselves and harness our potentials. And of course, our diversity is even our strength.
You're right.
Unfortunately, people in the political arena are trying to make our diversity to be our weakness, but it's actually our strength. Because,
okay, clip so quickly.
Yeah. Singapore. The Airport Police Division of the Singapore Police Force handles the security for the country's two international passenger airports, the Changi and the Seletar airports. The September 11 attacks in the USA and the citing of Changi Airport as a terrorism target by the Jemaah Islamiyah, usually called JI, led to the stepping up of airport security in Singapore. Randomly, listen to this special feature of how these Singaporeans do theirs. Randomly, roving teams of 2 soldiers and a police officer armed with automatic weapons patrol the terminals. This is a special feature.
But they're very friendly.
Very friendly.
Very unlike the Chinese, some other countries, Israelis. But when I arrived at the airport, they were very, very friendly people.
Well, like I said, we're not reeling this out for us to copy. It's just for us to begin to think through and then check our special circumstance and create something that can be adapted to our circumstance and achieve results.
Correct.
That's the whole essence. We're not asking anyone to copy, but let's read them out and see what other people are doing. So I stopped at randomly roving teams of 2 soldiers and a police officer armed with automatic weapons patrol the terminals. Contrary to what happens in most parts of the world, departing passengers are checked at the entrance of the gate rather than after immigration clearance. We are doing that in Nigeria as well. People are checked at the entrance, although I find that those out there are not as serious as the ones inside, because sometimes you find them conversing with their friends and not really seeing everything passing through there. Well, I hope they are listening and somebody will change his mind and begin to, his or her mind, and begin to do better. The presence of X-ray machines and metal detectors at every gate drives home to the departing passengers that no one is joking there. Ground handlers such as SETI, Cisco, SATS, and Atos Security Management Private Limited assist state organizations. Can you see this other special feature? You have private ground handlers that assist the state organizations in doing the job. So it's not only a state affair in Singapore. To ensure watertight security at the airports. Also, luggage screening processes are conducted behind closed doors. That we are doing as well right now in Nigeria. That's why when you check in these days, both local and international flights, you are asked to go to the, near the room to wait and see that your luggage passes the test of checking through the system. And once it's done, they wave at you. Okay, have a safe trip, and then you know you're fine. Right. Otherwise, you have to retrieve your suitcase and check it and remove whatever is unacceptable in there. Let's go quickly to clip 3 very quickly. We're dealing with Israel.
Those are the tough guys.
Your people.
Tough guys. Tough guys.
All right.
They're not friendly at all.
Israel is home to LR Airlines. Although Ben Gurion Airport is just outside Tel Aviv, no plane departing that airport has ever been hijacked since July 23rd, 1968. That was the last time any plane, leaving Israel was successfully hijacked. July 23rd, 1968. Good record, isn't it? After the Japanese Red Army attack that led to the untimely death of 24 people at Lord Airport, now Ben Gurion. Ben Gurion used to be known as Lord Airport. Security at the airport relies on a number of methodologies focused on the fact that terrorist attacks are carried out by people who can be found and stopped by an effective security system. Can you see how their minds are working? That terrorism is caused by people that can be seen, people that can be, really found. And so that explains to you why they have those trained young ladies staring at everyone,
and not
watching
smiling at all. Not smiling at all.
Not smiling at all.
Other countries, they smile. They welcome you with smiling faces. that of Tel Aviv, they don't smile at all.
That's correct. So, so we'll take that again. After the Japanese Red Army attack that led to the untimely death of 24 people at Lord Airport, now Ben Gurion Airport, security at the airport relies on a number of methodologies focused on the fact that terrorist attacks are carried out by people who can be found and stopped by an effective security system. Rafael Ron, former Israeli director of security at Ben Gurion Airport, described it as the human factor. December 27, 1985, terrorists simultaneously attacked air ticket counters at the Rome, Italy, Vienna, and Austria airports, killing 19 civilians. Machine guns and hand grenades were used in those attacks. The so-called human factor entails interrogating travelers, using racial profiling, singling out those who appear to be Arab based on name or physical appearance. Others who do not appear to be Arab descent are questioned on why they are traveling to Israel, followed by several other questions aimed at detecting inconsistencies in the answers.
For this one, I had a very nasty experience here when we had crossed the Eilat border into the Egyptian territory.
Yes.
I spent some time at the Sinai Peninsula, precisely going up and down of Mount Sinai, returning back. I was really leading a discussion. We had lodged at Hilton Tagbo at the border between Israel and Egypt within the Sinai within the Mediterranean Sea. And all of a sudden, I was just shocked that I was the one talking. When we got to the point where we were to the screen, everyone was asked to pass. They said, "You out."
That was racial profiling.
They took me out, took my bag out, and they had to open everything I was carrying. Everyone had entered the bus. For about 20 minutes, they kept me. They were looking at me. They started the search. They searched everything about me, all my documents, everything. Before they now said, "Okay, I can."
You just had it one moment ago. Yeah, so sorry about that. But you see, it's all about a nation, realizing their special circumstance, devising means of ensuring their safety and getting the job done. I really don't blame them. If I were in your shoes, I wouldn't even be angry. I'd rather admire them and hope that something better will be done in my own nation. That's my attitude.
But when they come here, no one talk to them. They're all expatriates here.
It's our fault.
They're good to run.
It's our fault. We must seek
clip 4, our time is almost up.
Yeah. We just have 2 more clips and we'll be done here. India. Are we there?
Okay, India. Quickly, clip 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
That's it.
Okay, that's
India. The 1999 Kandahar hijacking jolted India, leading to her stepping up its airport security. Excuse me. Under the regulatory framework of the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, that's Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Indian version, The Central Industrial Security Force, formerly known as CISF, a paramilitary organization, is in charge of airport security in India. Every airport in India is given an airport security unit, usually called APSU, to counter unlawful interference with civil aviation. And apart from the APSU, every domestic airline has a security group. Can you see another variance? This is another variance. Yeah. So you see every country, checks its own circumstance and makes a decision of how to go. So there's no hard and fast rule about this, and there's not, one fit all situation. Now, you can see now that every domestic airline has a security group who looks after the aircraft security. Major challenges faced by Indian airports include terrorist threats, narcotics, proliferation of slums around the airport boundaries, especially in Mumbai Airport. You have slums, littered all over the place. Let's run to clip 5 very quickly and see if we can get away from here. We actually have a 6th one, but I will do this in 1 minute. Okay. Hong Kong. The Hong Kong International Airport Security Architecture is a beautiful mix, a combination of Hong Kong Police Force and an aviation security company, AFSECO, about to sound like Nigeria, which is AFSEC. I hope we didn't copy from Hong Kong, AFSECO. Secure the airport. The airport district of the police force is responsible for the safety and security of the airport region. Armed with H&K MP5A3 submachine guns and Glock 17 pistols, wonderful plastic covered pistols that look like biscuits, but they are killers. Yeah, that's the Glock 17 pistols. For security reasons, I'm not displaying the photos of those pistols. They are lovely. The airport security units are deployed around the airport. However, the security of the restricted area is the responsibility of the police and Avesco. Although the airport is under the control of the Airport Authority, Hong Kong, usually known as AAHK, the security power has been delegated to the Avesco, or rather AFSECO, not Avesco, AFSECO officers. As the Immigration Department checks the incomers passports, the Customs and Excise Department checks passengers and crew luggage in order to prevent drugs and contraband slipping through. Final clip 6 very quickly, and let's get out of here quickly before.
The United Kingdom.
Yeah, United Kingdom. Airport security matters in the United Kingdom, UK, are handled by the Department for Transportation, usually known as DFT. And see how they write it. The F is usually small letter. D and T, because F is not part of the name, but just to represent the word for. Okay, so the Civil Aviation Authority, CAA, deals with limited security regulatory issues. In 2004, a joint effort between the Home Office and the DFT produced the Multi-Agency Threat and Risk Assessment, known as MATRA. MATRA was first tried at 5 UK's airports: Heathrow, Birmingham, East Midlands, Newcastle, and Glasgow airports. Based on successes achieved at those 5 airports, MATRA scheme got rolled out across all 44 airports in the UK. Due to UK's support for the USA in the invasion of Afghanistan and Iraq, United Kingdom is now assessed as a high-risk country, leading to tightened security watch at our airports. This situation necessitated the installation of backscatter X-ray machines. Remember when I dealt with backscatter that will expose everything in the human being? The installation of backscatter X-ray machines, which provided a 360-degree view of a person, as well as seeing under clothes, down to the skin and bones. Privacy issues were raised by travelers, and based on that, it was replaced by millimeter wave scanners. which show hidden objects only without exposing the body of the passenger. And we're done. Okay. I don't know if you have a few questions.
Our time has run here, but by next week we'll be drilling more. We want to thank you earnestly, because when you look at security, sometimes you really don't know what goes around. The world is already far ahead, and most part of the world are already saying that, look, no plane is going to be hijacked. Terrorists won't strike, bad guys won't even go through here. We're going to make sure we comb everyone. And so also, when you travel out there, please, you must try to be very careful. I had the time during the World Cup before the last in Brazil, precisely Sao Paulo. I had arrived there with some Nigerian guys, and one of the Nigerian guys was immediately picked up. I rescued him, and why was he picked? He just got to Brazil and met a guy, and I met one of the security men and said, please, I want to call my guys. I want to call my guys to be coming. And the guy said, who are your guys? I want to call my guys. I mean,
language.
And they were just leading him somewhere, and they saw that they had gathered him, and he became apprehensive. I said, I want to go. Why will you miss security? Go out of the airport premises and call your guys. Go into the street and call your guys, but not inside the airport that you want to call your guys.
And by so using that language, guys, you give the impression that you have bad boys and girls.
And he was already looking. You know, sometimes when you carry for scarf, you look more like someone who is an illegal. Okay, thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, on that note, we end the program. Aviation update here. Very nice one, Mr. Godwin here. You can follow through. Very nice one. His words are very eloquent. He played with words and somewhat very nice and wonderful diction here. Okay, quickly, we go on to the issue of flooding. When we come back, we'll play you a clip on flooding. When we come back, we'll be looking at flooding. Last week, Thursday, was no good one for the FCT. Most areas, we are submerged in flood, particularly the Masshausen district of Lokogoma, and we saw some flooding. The area one and about in Abuja became one full big water pond here. But thank God the manholes were clear and the water quickly drained here. Let's play you this clip. When we come back, we will be talking with an official of the FCTA on how to tackle flooding, what we should be doing, what they ought to be doing to ensure that, look, this wonderful city designed by its founding fathers do not become a subject of flooding.
On the way to Lokogoma district, our attention was drawn to crowd at the popular Galadimawa roundabout, where massive flood waters occupied a portion close to the area. A man was sighted in the water struggling to rescue two persons believed to be farmers trapped on a hill almost covered by water. Arriving at Lokogoma, one discovered that suit and tie would not be useful for the assignment, hence the need to remove them. At some point, footwear was also not required. In most areas, particularly FAB and IPEN 2 estate, houses on flood corridors were largely covered by flood waters. The bridge linking IPEN 2 and IPEN 5 estate was hit by the flood and some parts washed away. As one can see from this spot here at Lokogoma here, if you look under here, the flood appeared to have been very massive and had fully washed off the soil beneath here. And many of the commercial motorcycles, like the one you see here, is already going through, but there is nothing holding the suspended soil. That means that it is just an enormous disaster waiting to happen. Civil defense officials soon arrived at the area and decided to stop residents from using the road. These did not go down well with some commercial motorcycle operators.
That's how you put it. If we leave and you remove it, that's not our business. We warn you, don't go through this place again. Government has said we should not go through this place. It's dangerous.
But when the Director of Development Control Department of the FCTA, Town Planner Mukhtar Galadima came, it was agreed that the deceptive suspended soil on the bridge be removed to prevent crossing, which might likely lead to that.
Just break it. Just break it. Guys, try it. They'll try it. This morning, if not me here, somebody don't enter here. He was coming with his car. He wanted to pass now. I'm the one that I climb on top of this fence. I told him, where are you going? You want to die?
Most property owners who came refused to speak on camera, but blamed the FCT administration off camera for suspending the demolition of buildings on waterways, which they now agree is the cause of the problem. This man, however, was bold enough to speak.
As you can see, the whole place is completely washed up. Completely washed up. If I'm able to go out of our homes now, it's a problem.
You're saying that you want the FCT to hasten up in the removal of
they have to. I think it's high time. They have to. because we can't continue this way.
Reacting, the Director of Development Control Department says persistent rainfall is making the demolition very difficult for now, as the heavy-duty machines are sinking on the marshy soil.
We are being slowed by the nature itself because of the rain, so the soil now has become so marshy and it's not firm for our machines to move. And then coupled with the fact that some of them complained that they were given inadequate time of notice, so they felt that we should give them enough time so that they can move their valuables.
The director also hinted that there will be massive construction waste evacuation during the dry season to restore the water path.
With the waters yet to recede and the very clouded skies showing signs of much rain to come, many questions are running through one's mind at the moment. Are the residents of these areas who are living on water plains and flood corridors willing to seek higher ground? Is the FCTA working alternative solution to the problem as it is at the moment? Or will the August break be coming quickly as a temporary divine solution to the problems around here? Questions, questions, questions.